The black woman is God.
I raise my flag for my sister, sister. 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 I raise my flag.
Peace and Black Power family. We are back for another installment of the Real Sisters Code. And today is going to be a real hot topic. Okay. Something that, has just, recently sprung back up. Okay. And we want to all just kind of give our, opinions and our thoughts on what affirmative action is, what it means for our community. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? So we definitely want to talk about this topic. I have some powerful sisters, like always. On the panel, we have Goddess Stacy, Goddess Courtney, Goddess Hope. Thank you for joining us this week again.
Yes, ma'am. Peace to the tribe.
All right, and Goddess, can you introduce yourself?
Well, good evening, ladies. How's everybody?
You're an elder.
Doing?
We come to you for advice.
How's everybody doing this evening?
Doing good, doing well.
Well, thank you, Sister Shep, for wanting me to come on and talk about this affirmative action situation that has been walked back after 50-something years of law on the books. That's no longer on the books, thanks to the cheesy Supreme Court justice that could care less about the future of anybody if it's not the white man and woman and children. And I would say that it will affect us if we sit down on it and don't speak about it and take no action. We can be affected. They're trying to make it seem as if though it's just surrounding the school, getting in and out of college. But it's going to go higher than that. When they started with the abortion, we knew we was about to have some problems then. We knew the problems were coming with them turning back the hands of times. So yes, it's definitely going to affect us, and especially future generations, if we sit down on it and don't make any demands about it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I want to, touch on that, and, we'll all take a turn, speaking about it. But like, how you said, basically, that we're going back in time in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing we know is that this even had to be implemented because they wouldn't have even messed with us to begin with.
Exactly.
Okay? So this is like really more of a forced issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And people don't really view it like that, but that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say affirmative action, it's really like forcing the white man to mess with us, in a sense.
Yep, it's definitely putting force and what they're doing now with the law. See, my opinion is they couldn't get past the 8 years of having a black president. So when Trump came in after President Obama came out, it was to turn back everything that our ancestors fought for in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, so we could have the little freedom that we have now. They were angry about that. All white people were, regardless if they say they're not, they like Trump and they like Obama, excuse me. They were angry behind that. And this is their way to get back. This is their way to get back. When he stacked those judges and those Supreme Court and judges across the country, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he did it under the intent that he felt like he was going to be president 4 more years. So that kind of blew his plan out the water a little bit. But he knew exactly what he was doing to take, to step back, to take us back, because they, at the end of the day, they just don't like us. They don't like us.
Right. So then, that kind of makes me think like, what we were kind of speaking about a little bit, Goddess Hope, before we start this discussion, just in general. Like, if they don't have to be forced to take us in anymore, now we're at a point where we need to rely on ourselves.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, I've always mentioned peace to everybody. Thanks for having me once again. It's always a pleasure. It's like the most peace that I get out of the month. So to say that, but
We're gonna give you more peace. We're gonna give you more peace.
I want Goddess Stacy just, to respond to what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Goddess,
I've been
and
really
then
thinking
Courtney,
about,
you can go to Sister.
okay. So I've been really thinking about, what was the purpose of us integrating in the first place? I understand the whole thing behind Dr. Martin Luther King, but I'm a little bit more Malcolm than I am Martin. And I really prefer for us to really work with one another, utilize the barter system, utilize spending money within our community first before it leaves. They say the small hats usually spend money within their community 7 times before it leaves the community. For us, we intentionally always go out and spend money in other people's businesses. Growing up here in New York City, there's different cities, different cult-like cities. You got this race here, this race there. But us, we're intentionally scattered all over the city and taking whatever is at the bottom. But when we decide to put our monies together with this situation happening, affirmative action, when people realize that they're not going to be able to shop in these businesses that they go to and frequent on a daily basis, what is that going to look like? The first thing that I did here when I came to New York City, I went to the African shop because I was running out of shea butter, and I was like, oh, I got to re-up. I was like, where's the shea butter at? Point me to the shea butter. And they was in there picking rice in the front, and then they was doing things in the back, and the aisles was like this big. And all that showed me was 2 things. One, they don't care where or what the space looked like. They wanted to be able to provide a space for their people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had my Kari earrings on, my head wrap was on, so they know the vibes. But I'd rather spend my money there first before I went anywhere else.
Right.
And I think it's going to be
a certain mindset, though, I think, too.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be imperative, because once people are hit back with the whole Jim Crow vibes, like, oh, you can't work here. Oh, you can't get a job here, because it starts with interviews and job applications. You filling out your job application. Do you choose to self-identify? Why do you need to know that what race that I am?
They don't do that in any other country.
Why does it matter? And this is basically because of affirmative action. They had to make a certain percentage of people so that they can get these little tax breaks. But all of that is coming to an end. And are our people ready? We talk about this on this show all the time.
It's like, and I can see, I definitely lean towards, definitely independence from them, period.
Right. Okay? Separate but equal.
Right. But I also see, why it's even implemented. Because
what we have to understand is, I'm gonna take you ladies back. Courtney, you may have not been here, but we're gonna go back to the 60s. We had that. We actually had that in our communities. Our own cleaners, barbershop, beauty salon. Me growing up in the South in Memphis, we had all of that. Dr. King actually realized in the last 6 or 7 months of his life that he was leading his people into a burning building. And he wrote about it. He understood that it should have remained separate but equal. But by then it was a little too late. So now our people, here they are now, brainwashed, because you have a certain percentage of people that feel like if it's not white, it's not right. And if it's not coming from a white man or woman, then it's no good. So we have got to get in our communities, educate our kids, educate the people on black is beautiful, and black is where it's at. So we got to kind of go back a little bit, power to the people with the fists up, and get them to understand, the Black Panthers and what their movement was about. So it's going to take a lot of work, because like I said, through the brainwashing and everything, Black people felt like they arrived when they were able to go into Macy's and go into, different stores back in the days that they couldn't go into. And once they were able to do that, they felt like, okay, now we equal to them. Now they're about to find out that that's not true.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know, one of the things that you said, Goddess Stacy, is a fact is that we always only wanted it to be equal. Didn't have to be separate, but just equal. Like our dollar is the same amount as yours. So if you come across this track, my $5 is the same $5. We never asked to be included. We asked for us to be equal. And so that was the time where we had the highest. That's when Black people made the most money.
Yes, the mom and pop stores. Yeah.
Each other, and we had to go back into that original barter system, which was what the community was about, which is why God put us here. That's why the higher power here put us here, to be a community.
Exactly.
They came here with the money and changing of words in order to take down colonies and different places. They just, oh, here's some money. People's like, money, what's that? I got some corn. I got some bell peppers back there.
Value, though, but that was the real value, and that's where he plays his psychological games.
Correct.
On money,
which made
value to money. I mean, it's not even backed by gold or silver now, but let's just say it was. Gold and the silver, I mean, comes from nowhere where they're at.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we also have to. Go ahead, Courtney.
And we also, in the countries where it was, we walked all over it. We used it for some like gold, you know, use it for certain experiments and science and different things that it did to help heal us. But for the most part, they were healing jewels, and it wasn't bartered.
Yeah, and it was fashion because we were just ill like that. That's just
how we still
are. Really, I look back, like I swear they had grills back in like
yeah.
Had it up, gold chain down.
All of it.
Out. That's why I still wear gold to this day.
The same way. The same way. Nobody's doing anything different. People think they are, but we're not.
I mean, and then what people really don't understand is that it was the indigenous people that came over here from Europe. The white people that Europe didn't want them over there anymore, and they threw them out. You know what I'm saying? And they came over here. Right. They were workers. They were maids and butlers and field workers and things of that nature. And they were thrown out. They didn't want them. And then they come over here and you want to take from the Indians. Yeah. Then you come over here and want to take from the Indians. You want to take their land and, you know, kill them off. And
Native American.
Native American. I could go on all night about white people, but I'm not, because I get upset.
I think we all can.
Say something like this. Listen, so I just came, like I was saying before, I came into an epiphany of, and it's just had a lot to do with affirmative action and just how they feel like we need them, but we've never needed y'all. Ever. Right? So like, for me, you know, I'm building a social enterprise, something that's for us, by us, that puts our beauty dollars back into our pockets, right? And so that we can get those trillions of dollars back into our pocket, which we don't, not even 1% comes back into our community at this time. But we spend trillions of dollars in the beauty industry every year, and not even 1% of it comes back. So I was going on a journey where I'm like, okay, I want to teach this class and I want to get it accredited. And the only way I could get my textured hair course accredited is if I go to this cosmetology school and then get their license and then get a teaching license for me to be able to teach some shit that y'all don't teach, which is why the fuck I'm teaching it, in the first place.
Exactly.
I'm teaching it because you don't damn teach it, and y'all are still using this book from the 1800s, which y'all know don't include us. And now I'm about to once again allow you to capitalize off of our intellectual property because it's ours. And I decided, fuck that. No, I'm not going back to your institution to ask you for shit. Because I'm the one who is coming up with what I'm coming up with, and I'm not the only one in my community who feel the same way. So why do I have to ask for anything? And since the white man has taught us so graciously how to overthrow some shit and take over, I understand all I have to do is change some fucking words. So no, we're we're gonna be texturing.
Loopholes,
And I'm
loopholes.
gonna just about the shit, and you're not gonna tell me what we can and cannot do. You can't tell me we can't color, because the way that you guys color in cosmetology school is not the way that you color textured hair.
I'm saying, but see, and that's what I'm saying. I hear God is hope. I hear you guys, Courtney. You know what I mean? Independent minds, independent thinking, free. No, not under, not under the white man's guys, not being paid by him.
Right.
Right. So I'm just saying, I think about everybody in this situation.
It was my dad who said, why the hell you asking them for anything?
Right.
That part.
And this shit, and that's been my whole life. That's how I've grown up. I have had the pleasure of having my father my whole life. So when it comes to, I was already in the, sick to my stomach. Like, why would I go do this? It doesn't make sense. And I'm a being of understanding through everything. If I can understand it, I don't care if I agree with it, disagree with it, I can understand it. So when he said that, it just was my confirmation of, you are absolutely correct. There's so many people already teaching what they're teaching. I could put them on a platform and make it professional, because that's what we're missing. When we go into these Black businesses that we're about to go into, because we're about to, even our children are going back to the damn bartering system. No, nigga, I'm not coming to your job. No, I'm not. I know how to do this. Pay me for my time, or don't call me. I really don't care.
What we've got to do is we've got to reach our people and have them understand that we need to support each other 100%. Not some of the time, not 20% of the time, but all of the time. We need support. If I go to a hair salon or go to a braider and she didn't do my hair the way I wanted it done for the price that she's asking, then I should be able to go back to her and explain to her, look, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I paid for. And I need for you, without attitude, without, belligerent, without going crazy. I want to give service. I want to support you. You know what I'm saying? But 3 strikes you out. Especially if I got to pay you.
That's
so yeah. Well, I try to give them a chance, Courtney, to,
I
get
don't
it right.
care about nobody. That's too many. I'm going to tell you what, we're going to talk about it, because I'm going to know how you feel from that one time that I expressed myself to you. What type of individual, but that's what I mean when I say the customer service. We need to come up with a customer service class that circulates around the damn Black community, because we say, oh, well, y'all don't know how to talk. But you know what? People hire young Black men, young Black women, old Black men, old Black women, middle, whatever. If your attitude is horrible, it's horrible. But guess what? Do you have standards in your company? Do you have a handbook that says that you must stay pleasant and have a smile and greet a person like this? And do you have that?
I was about to say that they hire professionals, because I was a consultant. I consider myself a business development person. I would come in, to any organization in the last 2 years. I'm like, I don't intend on me being here longer than 6 months, and I sure don't. So let's get to the meat and potatoes. Tell me all your problems and I'll solve that shit. And then in 2 months, I'll be finished, and y'all just move on for the rest of the months. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really just here to solve a problem. But it's true. I have to deal with all these handbooks. I have to sit in all these types of meetings. I have to now be under other consultants, rules and regulations. When they come in, tell me all of your problems. How can I fix it? So, I think we're at a point in society where we have no choice but to change the narrative of what our stereotype is.
Yes.
Yep. You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, these little stupid ass checklists, are you Black American? First of all, that's a whole nother conversation, but Black, this, that, and the third, you checking those boxes, they obviously are already stereotyping. I need to change my entire name 9 times out of 10 just to make sure that I could get a job. For what? This is what my mother named me. Why does it matter?
That's what I was trying to say. That they're automatically judging by that. So we're just talking about the way it is right now is that it's affecting the school systems. Okay, like the colleges. The top colleges no longer have to admit a certain amount of Black people just because.
But who said they're the top? Like, who is giving these motherfuckers titles? Like, that's just crazy to me.
But just
I always thought that was crazy to me. It's like,
built
Y'all,
because it was formed by people who.
Most of those top colleges weren't even full of smart individuals. They were full of nieces and nephews and sons and daughters.
A lot of them are.
What are you talking about?
They're Ivy
And
League
athletes.
institutions because they were funded by slavery. So whoever had the
Right.
most money, their people
Correct.
and their families went to those types of schools. That's how that.
And that's how it's going to be now. That's how it's going to be now. Whoever has the most
Absolutely.
money, you could go to Yale. You can go
Yeah.
to Harvard. They're not going to care what color you are, as long as that money green. And
I
if you
wonder what's
present
going to happen
money,
to
you get
me
in.
because I got a scholarship to Cornell and I completed that certification and they said I could claim Cornell University as my education. So now if they decide to stop letting Black people in who are not vaccinated, then what are we going to do? You know what I
Not
mean?
even vaccinated. If I don't have to let Black. See, this is where it is. This is what we have to understand. I don't have to let you in anymore.
Yep.
That's over with.
I just really think that's
that whole thought of you coming to Harvard because I had to let 4% in because of affirmative action. Because of affirmative action, I had to. Now, I'm not saying I picked like whoever, because that's definitely not true at all. Because most of the Black people they let in were really better than the people who were already in there.
the cream of
And
the
they
crop.
folks got money. And they people got money.
Yeah, exactly.
Not all of them.
They didn't just pick anybody.
Mhm.
Peace,
But
how are you?
Peace, sisters.
hey, come on with the braids.
Everybody
Thank
got
you.
Everybody got braids.
Come on, y'all. Except for me.
July is a great time for braids.
We were talking right now about, just the affirmative action, like how it's like taking precedent, like in the top universities of the United States. So at this point right now, they don't have to, let any Black person in by any quota, Black or Hispanic, or any minority, whatever they consider minority. Okay, they don't have to let you in anymore. Now, one thing I know from the other side, especially, and I know, Goddess Hope, you know this too, that the Indians, the Asians, and all that, this is their joy. Okay? I'm talking about they compete so hard to get into these schools, to Harvard, to Princeton, to Brown, all of these schools.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping, Sister Shep, I'm hoping that by this affirmative action being reversed, that it would help to rebuild the HBCUs. That we could take our athletes into Black colleges now and build them up the way that, you had Deion Sanders to leave a Black college and go to an Ivy League, to Colorado. So I'm thinking that, okay, fine. Now we're going to take our Black athletes and put them in Black colleges and build our colleges for the future for our kids.
You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to change the rules of sports so they don't play against them.
So they won't play.
And then we're going to make our own sports. And we gonna play, and ain't nobody gonna watch that shit.
No.
And see, that's my thing. My thing is, had we been doing our own thing the whole time, we wouldn't have been worried about no affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? Had we been playing it, doing our own thing, and not trying to be a part of their world, and just supporting each other, loving on each other, and going to our own schools and going to work for our own people and stuff like that, we wouldn't be worried about no affirmative action.
Yeah, our ancestors did that. But our ancestors did
now that
that.
means it's gonna pull everybody back together. Everybody gonna come back to ground zero. You know what I'm saying? And start that shit all over again.
I'm hyped.
Let's be realistic though. But I feel like we should be realistic. We looking at what's happening right now, right? These children really gonna go to college? They don't give a fuck about college. They're like, what debt? I don't want no debt. I don't want to do that.
Wow.
I mean, because this trade school is the best way to go in the beginning.
Right.
At least the first 2 years, trade school where you need to go.
The trades, because we need those skills.
Yeah.
If they going to school now, they need to be doing stuff like robotics.
Yeah.
If you see the whole AI
electrician, a plumber, can't nobody take them jobs.
Yeah.
I agree.
And we're going to need it if we're building our own communities. We need these services. We need people.
Service jobs.
This is the biggest thing that pushing our kids to do these things.
Exactly.
You know,
Right. Growing up in
Yeah.
Memphis, yeah. And our high schools in Memphis, they had vocational classes. They taught shop. They taught cosmetology. They taught how to be, run your own dry cleaner. We had that. Our ancestors, like I said, the 40s, 50s, 60s, when you go back and look at all the cities that Lake Lanier, how they flooded that out. You know what I mean? I mean, we had our own thing going on and they couldn't stand it. Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know what I mean? They couldn't handle the pressure. You know what I mean? So they want our black dollars. You know what I'm saying? They want the black dollars because they feel like we spend more because we overspend. You know what I mean?
They clearly don't need it, because if they trying to reel it back in, and if we put in that same $1 trillion that Goddess Courtney mentioned into our own community, they fucked. Simple.
But there's one thing that is vastly different from back in the 50s and 60s. And that's the interracial couples. No, the interracial couples.
What about
you mean to tell me that if this white woman is married to this black man who's about to go into this establishment and you don't want him to go, or you don't want their kids to go, and that white woman's dad is the attorney of whoever the fuck, or the DA of blah 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 blah, that shit not go on for too long.
That sounds like a personal problem.
No,
but the thing about it, don't think though, Sister Courtney. Sister Courtney, don't think that's not going to be next. They're going after interracial relationships next. They're going after the LGBTQ. They're going to go after everybody. It's not going to stop here.
But the point I'm making is, it's not going to be as simple as it was back in the day.
I don't know.
It's just not.
Can't even get people to vote. I mean, you can't even.
I have to somewhat disagree, because I think that one thing that I think we do, especially us being in a certain circle, okay, we can't disregard people that like are not even on this level. You know, as far as education, as far as knowing what's going on in the world, like I'm talking about basic things. You're worried about just survival. I'm not like even thinking about anything else that, is happening in the world, or you talking about Black economy and all that. That doesn't mean nothing to me right now. In my situation, real talk. There's a time, really, I was, we all thought that, I don't know, at least it was me at one point. That wasn't even in my mind frame of thinking, because I'm worried about other things. So it's like, how do we get people like that I'm talking about? Because that's I think the bigger percentage. We are hands down the smaller percentage of the intellectual mind being free. We have no problem saying, fuck that. I don't need the white man. I don't need nobody.
Right.
Outside of my circle.
Right.
And we make the black dollars. So it's like it's like we don't even need that help. But the majority of other people, I think, are definitely under that.
Yeah, our biggest issue in our community is staying the course and staying consistent with supporting one another. You know what I mean? We've got to stay the course and not worry about what somebody drive, what their house look like, but worry about what their product, what they're presenting, and how it's going to help you. We've got to figure out a way to get the message out, stay the course, stay consistent, support Black business across this, just do it. You know what I mean? We don't want the excuses about, oh, she was 2 hours late and all that. Okay, all right, we get all that. Find somebody else, you know what I'm saying? And just stay the course. We don't do that. We don't stay the course and stay consistent. We fall off. It's like we get distracted. Something else bigger will come along. Come on, who paying $1,100 to go see Beyonce?
Not me.
Not me.
You see what I'm saying?
I take it, but I ain't paying no goddamn $1,100.
It's like women on my job, paying, $700, $800, $1,100 for tickets. Then you coming into work the next day and you need to borrow $5 to get something to eat. But you just supported a billionaire. So we got to stay the course.
But she's also, if we talking about staying the course, you're supporting a sister.
But I'm not supporting nobody that's already millionaire and billionaire. For what?
Yeah, you don't? You don't support nobody that's already a billionaire. Every time you go to somebody that's a billionaire. Every time you go to the clothing store, you're supporting someone that's a million or a billionaire. Every single time you go into a bank, you are supporting someone that is a million or billionaire.
Well, I go to Publix and their stores are employee owned through stock, through the stock program that they have. So employees are actually
That's one
the
thing.
investors, in their thing. I go to a Nigerian braider who braids from her house. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I do it a little different.
I think
You
the
know what I
message
mean?
is
I don't.
you gotta do it as much as you can. But I
Mhm.
think, this is going into, I'm glad you even mentioned that, Courtney, because this is going into a lot of things of just us owning certain institutions.
Mhm.
Us having, I'm just saying, clothes.
Right.
Right. Yep.
I mean,
Food,
where do you get
everything. But see, that's what that
Manufacturing.
is gonna, like I said, it's gonna bring us back together.
Yep.
It's gonna bring us back together. It's gonna make us nation build. We're gonna have to build our own nation at that point because they are just telling us, they really giving us their ass to kiss and telling us that they don't want, you know what I'm saying? Look, I want to be able to say whether you can go to our college. I want to be able to say, so the next thing you know, they're gonna be saying, oh, you can't come to our hospitals.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't shop in our grocery store.
As long
you know
as
what I'm saying?
private,
So it's gonna force us to create our own world.
They can do that. And as long as it's private and depending whoever the next president is, I'm just saying, like, really, they're already even talking about separating the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, you just said the key word, depending on who the next president is. That's the key right there.
There ain't no good candidates.
Well, it doesn't. Whoever they decide to put in the forefront, that's who's going to be carrying out the next orders.
That's right. That's true.
And the input, and it's already being rolled out.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you can already see what's going to happen.
It is. That's true.
Well, Trump is in the lead. He's raised the most money so far than any other candidate.
Of course he did.
So I mean,
He's been raising it for the last 4 years.
Yes,
Also,
37 federal indictments.
Too. So,
and and he can still run for president. Man, please, I ain't voting.
That should be an automatic disqualification. You cannot run for president while you are under indictment.
You have been indicted, man.
The whole time. Even from the first time.
Under investigation, everything. And
how do you run for presidency? How do you run? The first time he ran, he had like 500 and something open like sexual harassment cases. How is that possible?
Right.
Is he in jail?
Because the forefathers put those laws into play to always throughout the year to protect the white man at any cost.
That's true.
That's why he's able to do that. This man could actually be on a ticket next year to run for president with 37 federal indictments. If I had 37 federal indictments, I wouldn't even be sitting here on this podcast tonight.
So would, because you're gonna be in jail waiting.
I'm back
in jail. He let you out.
Exactly.
Waiting on bail.
Waiting on bail. Under the jail.
Waiting on
but
bail.
ladies, I do have some great news for you, ladies. We will be having a roundtable discussion on Saturday, August the 26th.
Okay.
Yay!
It's gonna be I know, right? I'm excited. It's gonna be held at the Brady Recreation Center in College Park.
Okay, I know exactly where that's where I grew up at. Come on now.
Okay, and we're gonna be there from 11 to 4, and vendors will be able to set up and sell their products and everything. And the roundtable discussion will be in another room away from where the vendors are. So yeah, we're gonna do this.
Okay. I'm supposed to already be in town that day, so that's kind of works out.
Mm-hmm. Saturday, August the 26th.
You'll be in Atlanta?
Yeah, I was there for Invest Fest. Yeah, Invest Fest is Friday to Sunday, so I was already going to be there, so that works.
Okay. So I want to, I just want us to go around, one last time, because one thing like I said, we're on the same wave-path. We all support Black business. This isn't like a foreign idea to us.
No,
it's not something that's scary. It's not something like I don't trust my, my sister, my brother. But a lot of people, like how we were talking about, Goddess Stacy has said is, if it's not white, then it ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if it's white, I'm questioning. You said, they said, what?
No, this is our mind frame. But majority of us are not thinking that way.
No.
Everything white is GMO anyway. Yeah. Everything white is GMO anyway. White potatoes, white sugar, all that stuff GMO.
Olive power.
Yeah.
Okay, ain't none of it real, you know.
That part.
We rather go out and buy like
The
fake
poison.
like shirts from like Gucci and stuff like that.
Right.
Shit. If I buy a shirt from Gucci,
Really,
I hear you.
really rock it. Like we know you ain't pay no $3,000 for that T-shirt.
We
Stop.
know you didn't.
I got a connect out in China that be begging me every single day with the emails to buy stuff from her. So you know what I'm saying? Like
This is what they do. But I'm just saying, but that's what we rather do. And it's corny.
mad cool.
It's not even like that. Like it's really corny. Like for real, for real. It's not even creative.
Man, I ran an entire clothing line for years, and I'm thankful that there were so many people that sold into my business, you know what I mean? And I tried to keep my manufacturing and everything within the community. And it was just like, as soon as I stopped selling it, now everybody want to start asking for it. And I'm like, bro, do you know how much money and time and effort I put into that business for X years? And now all of a sudden that y'all don't see in the shit no more. Y'all like, where is that? Like, make it make sense, Black people. This is why I can't stand.
Yeah, but are you asking to buy or to be damn nosy?
Like, I think they're asking to buy. Like, oh, because you know what happens? At some point, I'm like consistently promoting free as fuck. You know, I own the trademark. I'm out here, like you said, going into their stupid ass systems, doing what they want me to do just so I can protect my stuff, because it is my intellectual property. I want to do what I have to do to make sure that I'm protected so that I can will these to my children eventually. And I was saying that the other day too, because now they're actually changing the trust as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's
we're now learning it.
Right.
Exactly.
They change everything around once we figure it out.
Exactly.
They always do that.
It was just like the laws of bankruptcy. All those years, white people go and get Jags and Benzes and Beamers and $500,000 houses with the lakes in the back. File bankrupt, keep everything they have. The minute we caught on, the bank, well, now you got to have a certain amount.
Yep. It's so true. I used to work in the banks, and if you said that you had a bankruptcy, they were like, okay, well, we got to dig deeper into your finances. Like you said, it's always something, and it's just a little disheartening now. But I think the only true answer is land, because when you actually own the land, you can do whatever you want on that property if your taxes are paid, and that's the true way that we're going to be able to have these businesses, have these schools, have this food, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Of course, they're going to change agriculture and probably make you pay for the air rights and all that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, that's the most control that you'll be able to have, because at any given moment, any landlord, anything can change at one drop of a dime.
And now that can even change if they decide to put a park over it or run a goddamn road through it.
That's true. You know how they do.
Yeah. But like how you
said, and clearly understand, paying a house off, understand one thing: when you pay that house off, that house belonged to you, but that land, that lot that you did not buy, that you got to pay taxes on every year, it still belongs to them. Now you can pick your house up and take it anywhere you want to go, but that land, mess around, and you have to understand the paperwork. The language is crazy, man. There's two laws on in this world. It's just white laws and black laws, period.
Right.
You know, that's it.
This is why we have to start depending, like, getting back to what we were saying, just depending on each other, because it's going to get to a point, it's going to happen regardless whether you like it or not.
Are people going to walk away from those jobs that won't hire their brothers and sisters?
You can't work here.
Yes,
well,
that's what's going to be.
I'm just saying, for those who get a chance to stay, because they will always have their token.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Courtney, you're right. It's always going to be a token. You're right.
Because there was always somebody reporting to massa.
Well, there's
absolutely
a lot less people. I'm just saying, see, there'll be that one token, everybody else who thought they had the chance, when they were just really filling the quota.
Right.
That's out.
Right. But like Sister Courtney, you're right. They're going to have a token, because I've been on mine 23 years. And the reason why I've been on mine 23 years, because I grew up in a family of working people. And they would always, you got to have a job. You got to go to work. I come from a family. They worked at the post office. They were school teachers. My mom worked here in the clock. And that was the only thing they instilled in us. You got to get you a job. You have to be settled on the job. You got to have a job. You have insurance, blah, 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 blah. So for years and years and years, that's in your mind. And by the time I I was 40 and realized, damn, I shouldn't have been doing this. Then I got sick, so then I needed the insurance. So you can't stop because you got to go see the doctors. You have things going on. So yeah, but I teach my nieces and nephews entrepreneurship. Don't get stuck. Entrepreneurship is the way. So yeah, you get caught up.
It's gonna be forced. So it's like, get your ideas together now.
I just
because it's gonna be a time like there is no security in this white man's world that can change any moment. He's changed it too many times in history, like for you to think that it can't change now.
But it's never been. Even we're talking about these jobs, working for a company. I don't care if it's black, white, Indian, Spanish.
Yeah, no.
If they say they don't want you, I'd buy. They don't give a shit if you work for 20 years. They don't care if you've been there for 30 and you're about to retire next week. They will fire your ass.
They sure will.
They will never care.
They will.
And you're not entitled to none of those benefits that you worked for 30 years thinking
they have never cared. So even I think that how we could reach our people is to not make it so black, but make it a fact. It's not an emotional it's not an emotional piece of, oh, this is how we feel. No, this is a fact. Yeah. At any job you work in, I don't give a shit if they paying you $200,000. If they told you tomorrow, turn in your goddamn car and your key to this office, you're gonna have to do it. And what will you have after that? If you're about to have a child and you need to spend the mother of your child just passed away, guess what? They expect your ass to be at work in 2 weeks. They don't care.
Or sooner. Really, they only give you three bereavement days, and that has to be an immediate member of your family. So if it's your cousin or your uncle or somebody, you can't even take off to go to the store.
You know what I always do? I take off.
Anyway, that's me.
Either way.
Hello, God is hope. Hello, God is hope.
Right. There's a way to take off. There's a way to take off. When you take off,
I'm not gonna be here. That's it.
I'm gonna tell y'all how I took off long periods of time. I would tell them that I'm going on. I need a leave of absence where they can't find me.
FMLA.
And then I'm gonna talk to a therapist that they pay for once every 2-3 weeks, and I'm gonna go do what the fuck I want to do because that's the way you do it. I helped my best friend do this. I helped my best friend do this because she was starting a business and she couldn't answer her phone and she needed just a break. I said, girl, go on leave for like 20 days. They gonna pay you. You got paid time off. See what they doing. The next week, she made her first $100,000 deal because she could answer the phone. It's crazy.
That's terrible.
It's modern day slavery.
It is. And America, so I did a study once on the world's dynasties. And when I started looking up these images, like through Google Images or Bing or these, other search engines, and when I started looking up the world's dynasties, it came into this spot where America was listed on the map and they were called the West because they're obviously to the west of Africa. And when I really started looking at it, it was like America is a slave land. This is the only country that has slave labor. It's a debt society. Everywhere else, if you want to live somewhere, buy a car, buy a house, buy groceries, buy anything, you have to pay in full cash money. You cannot go into debt for anything. And I was thinking about this recently, like when I last lived in New Jersey back in 2016, 2015, I was driving a Mercedes and I was like, how the fuck was I pushing a Mercedes? I was in my 20s. Like, who the hell was I? What was I doing? And I was like, I didn't have any debt. The only thing that I had was my car note and my cell phone. I paid for everything in cash. Do you understand?
And that's the way to go. That's the way to remain. And that's the only way to go.
And that's what I'm saying. So now that they're trying to go into this whole digital currency, they're changing the banking laws. They're changing the job laws. They're changing all of the laws.
But you don't have to create that though.
Rockefeller and the Rothschilds and all, they wanted workers and not
DuPont.
They want you to work. They don't want you to think about nothing. They just want you to work, like a slave. You know what I'm saying? So that's why That's why it's so easy for them to fire black people or just get rid of black people on these jobs, because you complaining and your ancestors worked here for free for years. So you should be grateful. They look at us like we're supposed to be grateful for whatever they give us.
They just changed the wording.
Our ancestors were slaves.
Yeah,
I'm grateful
they
to
just
the
changed the
ancestors.
wording. That's all. We're not slaves now. We're workers.
Hello.
Right, we're workers.
I will own this
They
company.
want workers because they don't want you to think. They just want you to work, work,
Yep.
and just stay in debt.
You're
Work and stay in debt.
replaceable. It don't
You
matter.
would be a slave to them and to the system.
And that's it. And that's all they need you for.
Speak it into existence. Speak whatever it is that you want, your heart desires. Speak it into existence. Stay the course. Stay consistent. And you have to have people around you that think like you, that are consistent, that are business minded. And together you can network and create an empire. But you have to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
They can't be the haters. They can't be jealous. You know, they can't get out the phone or get out the podcast and call somebody and be talking about, man, that bitch crazy. She think of it. You know what I'm saying? That may be your opportunity to make it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about consistency. And that's something Black people have got to learn, to be loyal and consistent. And they have a problem with that.
Jealousy. You need a little jealousy in there, because who's gonna spread the
Well,
word?
that'll boost. You know, your haters be your because your haters be your motivators. They really do. You know, well, you don't have to be around them.
I think that a little bit of that makes sense. I think that what Black people need to understand is that when it's time to come together, because look at every other community, they can't stand each other within their communities. They can't stand each other.
But they'll get that money together.
They sure will. They sure will
when they need to. See, that's our problem.
That's the part. We don't understand how to just have an understanding that you over there, I'm over here, but this is what we all need.
Not enough long-term thinking. That's what it is. Not enough long-term thinking, long-term planning, wanting to see something play out. It's like it's like if it doesn't happen right now, then I can't believe it. You know, I don't want to partake in it. That's the problem. We need to, like, if we want to say, okay, you know what, we're not buying any Christmas gifts. It has to be for real.
Right.
Your kid's gonna have to cry. It's just what it is. And you're gonna have to explain why we're doing this. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing with that, Sister Shep. If you start out telling them the truth, then you don't have to every year you don't have to explain nothing. You know what I'm saying? Santa Claus is bullshit. You know what I mean? The tooth fairy and the Easter bunny don't even exist. You know what I mean?
When you know better, you do better. And you still got it's a lot of Black people out here conditioned with these European mindsets and ideas and ideology of
because that was all they knew. You know that's all they knew. But
you're also condemned for telling the truth. Right?
Right. So when you tell them the truth because they've been told a lie, it is easier to convince somebody that they've been it's easier to fool somebody than to convince them that they have been fooled. So once you tell a lie for so long and it's embedded, it's hard to undo that lie. Everybody, you know, because we got so many Black people still celebrate. Why are we still celebrating Christmas? Why?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
And all of that.
The Thanksgiving. When you look at the history of Thanksgiving and the fact that we sit down and we eat dinner in the name of that day and drink and be happy and be merry.
And pray to God.
Millions and millions of indigenous people were murdered and slaughtered, and the women and children were taken as slaves.
Yeah.
The fact that we still doing that.
It's funny because
the back history of Black Friday. The back history of Black Friday was
absolutely
when female slave women were sold at half price.
Yeah,
they went on sale.
It's so funny because 2 years, I want to say 2019, I stopped doing a Black Friday sale and I only did Cyber Monday, and people were confused. Like I said, I will celebrate Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday only, because when you start digging into these histories and learning the actual origins of many things, you realize what it's truly about. But at the end of the day, it's all about paganism.
It is.
I'm not a pagan.
Paganism and capitalism.
That's it. And greed.
And greed.
Think about it. Every single month there is a holiday.
Exactly.
Every single month. That is the sure way to make sure you got money coming in every single month. There's a holiday. And then now
And
they
to
make
keep
up
people
shit.
broke, and to keep people broke
Making
and
up
confused.
days.
Keep them broke and confused.
Yep.
Mhm.
Gender reveals. Why can't we just stick to the goddamn baby shower?
Right.
And why you can't wait till the damn baby be born and find out what the hell it is? Why you got to be ahead of the
Right.
game? Shit, take the fun out of it.
That's
Right,
how I feel.
right,
I feel the
right.
same way. Let's get back to the doulas and the midwives. Like, what's
You
good?
know,
Right.
let's get back to some of the traditional ways of doing things that made sense.
Exactly, but that rolls back again to the trust part, the trust factor, and like how I think, no matter what I think at this point, it's gonna be a force factor. Either once everybody loses their job for whatever reason, okay, because I don't no longer have to, really submit to this, whole affirmative action thing.
Yeah.
Becky is better just because. It's not, you already have you could just terminate without any explanation anyway.
You know who I think is going to end up being an ally that we didn't have at first, and I know this is going to sound crazy when I say it because we can't stand each other. Africans.
Yeah.
When they come over and they find out what really happened over here, they're like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
It's true.
Absolutely. Right? And they're the ones who still carry the knowledge to help us become doulas, to help us to understand the earth, and for us to still have that way to be able to get back and forth and be able to get different things that we didn't have before. And we didn't have that at first.
Yeah.
They have all the natural resources. They have all the real. And you know what? God is Courtney, girl, you're so right. You're so right. Because when I was in there Friday getting my hair twisted, like I said, Ty's from Nigeria, and she was just giving me the history of, how they come over here and do what they have to do and they go back. And you are so right. They're going to be the way.
Yeah.
They're going to be the way. If you could tolerate their attitude, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
I think that goes away with understanding.
Yeah.
Because they understand.
It depends on the country too. I mean,
that too.
One thing about Africa, like I think a lot of us don't understand as like Black Americans is like really, unfortunately, how much Africa actually is divided.
Oh yeah, we know.
And, I'm not Ghanaian. I am not Kenyan. I'm not freaking Ethiopia. Don't call me from Chad, Senegal. None of that. Okay, we won't even go there with South Africa.
Oh, don't.
So it's like they all like on a whole different wavelength.
Yeah, they are.
Who makes the best jollof rice?
Oh, it's a fight. You better not say that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how you know there's a true separation, just off that alone.
Yeah, that jollof rice. That jollof rice, they have like a jollof rice festival where they different African cultures compete against each other on who got the best rice.
We do that here. It's called barbecue cook-off.
Yeah, you're right.
We do, and it's real. And we all do the same thing.
But what they have that we don't have, right? Because we have that same stuff, north, south, wherever we from, same, right? But what they have that we don't have is how they understand how to stick together.
Right.
And they have the natural resources. Yeah.
And that could rub off on us of okay now. You can tell me, that consistent part and learning what we need and kind of them understanding that when you got here, yes, the government told you don't mess with us. Yeah, they told you that. You know what I'm saying? We got attitudes and we're lazy and y'all are not to come here and mix with us. Right? But y'all gonna see real soon when they keeping your kids about it and you can't come over here and you're gonna see real soon.
And that's I think it's like a division on division because I hear what you're saying about that, but then I also thought about this because when they're in Africa, they're divided. When they come here, they stick together.
They unite,
It's about survival though. Once they leave there, they gotta survive.
And that brings me to my point of survival. So it's like it just makes me think like if we're pushed so much as a community where it's like, nope, door closed here, door closed there, everybody that used to have their good jobs. I'm just saying, if they all of a sudden just come and just make up something because they can. Like I said, we don't know who the next president's going to be. You know how quickly things can turn. You know, and a lot of things, you know, they're not really caring about our issues. They're mad even about the reparations issues even being brought up. You know, when you read, especially I'm reading, you know, read these papers in New York, I'm talking about, I'm sure it's anywhere. And you read the comments under that, I'm telling you, but white people not with it.
Oh, hell no, they're not.
They're not.
Not reparations. Not reparations.
They're not.
As soon as you mention it, they get mad. As soon
Yeah.
as you mention it, they get irritated.
But they support the Holocaust that didn't even take place on American soil.
Yeah.
But as soon as, and my thing is that if that's the case, then if you complain about reparations, then give me everything that reparations built. You know, what did my people build for you? If that's the case, do you understand? Because if we taking all that shit back, that's backdated and future dated. Because when the first name that I'm thinking about is Rockefeller, you know, down in Montgomery where I'm at, they have something called the Legacy Museum. There's two different types of museums, and there's one dedicated to incarceration, and there's one dedicated to lynchings. And I'm almost 100% sure that there's a plaque at the incarceration museum talking about how all of the slaves were held in this physical building that I'm walking in because it was a warehouse. Do you understand? So it's like, and then you're looking around this downtown area and all you see is big banks. So now you know that you got a Chase Bank, a PNC Bank. You know, you could even look at the Atlanta skyline. It's the same shit. No matter where we are in the world, there's always some type of big bank. And all of those people had insurance on actual people's lives.
Yep.
Now, if we really want it to be funky, and if this is really what y'all doing, then cool, let me get my money back.
Right.
Let me get this building back. Let me get this car that you created in 1908 that we still utilizing to this day. Now all of a sudden I got flying cars off of inventions from George Washington.
I'm gonna wait till everybody fall out the sky first before I get one of them things. Okay, I'm gonna buy my first flying car when it's $60,000. Y'all not playing with me? It's gonna be thoroughly tested.
It's about to get wild.
Models.
Crazy.
And it's about to get so wild out here, and I don't think that I'm thankful for this conversation because we obviously are foreseeing what's to come. There are still so many people that will rather perish than to awaken to join together with one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They'd rather lose it all. They'd rather lose it all than deal with black people. You got black people that will take a chance on losing it all than to deal with their own. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to have the right people around you, man. You can elevate at any time, but you got to have the right people.
It's true.
Absolutely.
You have to have the consistency. But ladies, will it be okay if I get your information, your names and email from Goddess Ship? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. So we can get the flyer out for Saturday, August the 26th for the roundtable discussion and the vendors event.
Okay.
We with it.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Because we could sit here and talk about this BS forever. I personally, I know it's gonna be some craziness in the beginning, but I just feel like it's not gonna do anything. But we're good under pressure. Again, we talked about our resilience and how we figure things out. And I'm a big believer and big supporter of Marcus Garvey. I don't necessarily support how he was trying to move people because he was telling them, I feel like you got a lot of black people. I'm sorry, black people. You got a lot of them. Like, you can't tell them where they're going and what they're doing. You just got to make it free. Like, that's it. You got to be like, okay, free cruise to Africa on so-and-so day, bring your family. Okay? And when they get there to the other side, you got to be like, all right, so you can get a house, you can get a job, you can get a blah, blah, blah. You don't go back. You can't tell nobody. And let the next one come. You just can't tell them what's happening. You can't tell our people, I don't know what that's about.
It sounds like the story of Moses to me.
But that's God is Courtney. That's where I got confused on. Is that we had Malcolm X, you had Elijah Muhammad, you had Marcus Garvey, you had all these people talking about what we could go and do, but nobody went and did it. You know what I'm saying?
Because there was too much information. Black people we like to figure things out.
I mean, my thing is, when we leaving, if we can go and get a piece of land on an island somewhere where we could just be over there and do our thing, when are we leaving? They've been talking about this since 1919, 1926, 1927, 37. When we leaving? What we doing?
That majority of people want to leave.
That's the part.
That's a whole nother discussion. So
because we don't know, a lot of us don't know nothing else. This is all we know. They might say we're African Americans, but nigga, I ain't never been to Africa.
Right.
I don't know shit about Africa. I've never been
all
there.
I know is absolutely here. That's it. That's all.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna say I don't know anything about Africa, but I mean in the sense of I've never been. I can't tell you a road. I can't tell you what favorite shop I got. I don't know it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the real comes in. We have to keep it real. We have to start from scratch, keeping it real. We can't be talking about, oh, we can pack up and we can all go to this land. Where's the land at? Who bought it? You know what I mean? How long we gonna be there? The information has to be real. You know what I'm saying? We have to collectively come together, build, and then have a possibility of getting the hell out of this country. You know what I'm saying? But we can't be telling people, we can just come together, we can leave. Okay, when we leave, where we're going, I'm ready.
So listen to this.
I think some people should stay here because they definitely don't need to come bring their poison nowhere else.
I know that's right.
I was gonna say that
we still got a whole lot of stepping fetches and the field nigga house nigga mentality going on.
So you know what I'm saying?
They be trying to infiltrate the ones who's really trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? He's really trying to nation build, really trying to do, be on that group economics and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They shouldn't even be over there representing us. We just seen some ratchets freaking, twerking at the slave quarters.
Yes.
What's this?
Girl,
Ghana.
that was so
What's
disrespectful.
going on?
So
Yes. And I saw 19 Keys doing push-ups right after. I was like, what in the hell's happening here?
Wait. I gotta see what's happening. Not my brother 19 Keys.
I promise you he was doing push-ups on the gate.
Not on the gate. Was it fuck you push-ups? Like what kind of push-ups?
He had, he all philosophical and metaphysics on us. So he's doing push-ups and honoring strength, so on and so forth. But it was literally like immediately after the twerking incident. Like immediately.
I think he was trying to save us. He was like, nah, y'all fucked up. Let me try.
It was a hot mess. Either way.
Respect.
I was gonna say, like, when it comes
Making
down
a
to this, so
mockery.
right now they're
Making a
trying to
mockery of
gentrify the Caribbean, and what happens is, like, these people own their houses free and clear, and because the Westerners, and these Europeans came in and started buying businesses, especially the Chinese now, they're infiltrating,
they everywhere
like crazy, and the Canadians and what have you. So since these people own their properties outright, now they're going into these islands like, hey, you need some money? I'll give you some money, but in exchange, you got to take this mortgage. So now these people got mortgages on their properties that they never even had before. And now they're defaulting on them because they don't even know what the hell a mortgage is. And guess who owns these properties now? And it's just so sad. And I'm like, it breaks my heart. So now people are fleeing the United States because they're tired of the American way. And 2 weeks ago, they had announced that the passport department has been infiltrated with apps. There was 500,000 applications for passports years ago, and they were like, we need to hire more staff because everybody wants to be a Black expat. Nobody wants to stay in the United States. So people are leaving, and they're no longer leaving in groups. They're taking their immediate small families or Black single women are going on their own. And they're moving outside of the country. So it's actually really, really popular, and it's really unfortunate because the people who are native to those lands are now being affected with us bringing our US dollars and now bringing down these communities as well.
That's what y'all did to us New Yorkers. You brought your bullshit up there down here and look at what's happening. Yeah.
I agree. We came out here and be like 1,500.
Oh, yeah.
Now the damn rent is 24 starting. That's some bullshit.
And that's
only $2,000. Oh my gosh.
Courtney, the chickens always go home to roost. The roots is where it started in the South. You see what I'm saying? They all left the South and migrated north. So now they're coming home. You know what I'm saying?
But we ain't those flows now, huh, niggas? Oh, you want to breathe. Oh, you like to see the sun and the stars clearly. Now you like to say good morning. That's crazy. That's crazy.
On defense, I've been been going to the South since I was 9 years old, so I'm still coming.
It's true. We only like one generation removed. It's not like it's one generation.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it all started
weren't even born in New York. They was born down here, and then they went to New York. Yeah.
Look, I've been had these acres. What you talking about?
And when all those car plants folded and all the work folded and everything, not boom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Textile plants, and major mills, and all that went out of business. Everybody came back down here.
Everybody came home. Yeah, because home is where it is.
It's like a major rent strike growing on too, all over. So there's definitely a revolution coming.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. I keep saying that because that's always what happens.
Come to a final point, especially now, race relations and race tensions have been building up for a long time now. I don't know if coming from the right source, because like I said, a lot of people don't know the history. Especially younger people that are just hating. I always be like, well, why are you hating? Do you even know why?
They don't know. They just angry and mad at their parents.
Yeah.
I understand your mother and father grew up with tragedy and trauma in their lives as well. They just because they never told you about it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. So why be mad? Learn. Try to be the healing generation. You know what I'm saying? Be the generation that heals, and don't be the generation that just keep this turmoil just going and going and going. It's crazy.
Now it's it's worse because, like I said, there is no historical context. I don't think from either side.
Open carry guns. Everybody can carry a gun. You know what I'm saying? It's like okay,
and in Georgia, you can be crazy and carry a gun because they're not gonna run a background
check. That's right.
No more
crazy. You can be a sociopath, psychopath, whatever. Been to prison for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're gonna still let you have a gun because they're not gonna
because they're about to use them. They're about to use those people.
It's about to be a whole purge about to pop off.
Right. Yeah, they're about to not go to jail, or when they go to jail, they're gonna have hamburgers talking about they have a history of mental illness. That they're about to use those people as they always have, and we know that.
Yeah.
And evil has nothing to do with mental health. I'm just sorry. Being evil has nothing to do with it.
We're sitting here talking about Black health and community. So if I get put out of my house, which one of y'all can I come stay with? Because I'm gonna need somewhere to live.
Come on, baby. We're gonna do a GoFundMe. We're gonna do a fundraiser. We're gonna have your back. We ain't gonna leave you out there like that.
Bring your trailer on the land. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. We wouldn't leave you out. We wouldn't dare leave you out there like that with them kids.
Oh Lord, not with them kids. What if I was single?
Well, now let me tell you the history about being single. Okay, people don't care nothing about that. If you single and you don't have no kids, if you got kids,
that is what it is. They be like, "Oh, you trying to figure it out? You gonna figure it out? Oh, you got babies? Wait a minute." And they'll let your baby stay and won't let you stay, which is a hell no. You think you gonna have my kids and I can't come? You got me
right.
Got me big, but that's how that is, and that's just that old school thing. You know what I mean? We're gonna look out for those children, as my great grandmother would say, them cheering. We're gonna look out for them cheering.
Yeah, all we need to do is turn back. We need to look in the Spanish community and just adopt some of their things. It's okay if y'all live together for 5-6 months. It's okay. Nothing's wrong with that. As long as there's a plan, because they never live with each other without a plan. And I ain't never seen them just living with each other. They are living for a certain amount of time and then they gone. First you see a big truck, right? First they come in, they carpooling. Do you see one big truck? Then you see some kind of sports car, and then you see, and then you
that's how they do it.
They do it different like that. I even think about, God is help me out on this one. The Indians, the Asians, real talk. They all live in the same house, and it's not about it's not even like, oh, I'm so grown, I don't want to live with my parents.
Nope.
No, they ain't no option.
Yep.
When I was in the house.
When I was living in California, it was Koreans and Vietnamese in the neighborhood that I lived in, and they lived the same way that the Mexicans do.
It's just
everybody can do it. Everybody can do it, but us.
And that's how that, that group economics work. Well, not, I guess, if we was getting free taxes for the first 10 years, they don't have to pay no taxes and they get a refugee check.
Come on now.
The Vietnam War. All of them do when they come over here, they get money.
No, of course they do,
but they still take their little check and they open up their businesses with it, and they pile up 10, 15 people in the house, and they all make their little pallets on the floor.
But they're okay with that. They're okay.
They know that their situation is temporary. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They're not okay with that situation. They're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
it's for a reason. It's for a cause. They have a plan. So
I wonder.
Long-term plan.
I really do wonder. So, like, how we know that they'll get paid a little bit more than we might get paid, or they work more, right? So their checks might be a little more. They get paid in cash. You know how people do when they pay you under the table, XYZ, right? Mm-hmm. But for Black communities, a lot of us, we ain't making nowhere near that. And 4 of us could be in the house and still not making enough to be able to pay what the hell the rent is.
Right.
Right. How do we fix that?
Well, that's what we were saying before. Just all of this. I mean, now this will be into another discussion. We could even do a part 2 next week on this. Okay. Mm-hmm. But now we're going into trade skills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is the main issue and the main problem.
Because they do work with their hands.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are skills. These are trades. Like, these are things you can offer somebody. You can't offer them like a rap song. You know what I'm saying? Forget
God damn it, Shep.
No, this is for real. I love rap. Like, I'm not even going there. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to say it. We ain't nowhere where it used to be, where you actually could be really noticed. They built the game now. These people are picked. They're not real rappers or anything like that. They're actors and actresses. Okay, nothing's from these people's heart. Nothing's changing the community. They're here to damage the community. I have nothing for that.
Because the majority of them don't even know the history of the Black community. They don't really know.
Yeah, it wasn't. Rap music was not like this at one point.
No, it wasn't.
I'm talking about a long time ago. It's not like we can go back 50 years. No, we talking about like 15 years ago. Maybe less.
Yeah.
When rap first came out in 79, it was clean. It was still moving and grooving for people to clearly understand that we needed unity. You know what I mean? We needed love. We needed uplifting each other. And then all of a sudden it just broke out into when NWA was, came out, with fuck the police, and all that. It got crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a way we could challenge them. I'm sorry. Got goddess Hope.
That's
okay.
I
didn't see you talking.
Yeah, we're gonna challenge and make a difference with having these roundtables discussion and bringing them live. This is how we're gonna start.
Well, I mean, like, I wonder if we could challenge everybody that's in the industry on the Black part to only make clean, fun, family music, and see if they will still if their labels would still allow them to do XYZ. Because technically you gave them an album. You didn't like it. That's just all you put out.
Make an album without even having what their message has to be. It's like, no, you can't. There is no freedom for you to say, oh, I thought I was going to sing about Black power. No, you're not. I thought I was going to sing to kids.
Because the white man owned the label, so therefore they're not going to allow them because that album won't make no money.
Yeah, but there's loopholes in everything.
But the album won't make no money.
They will intentionally have people in a writer's room, white people on top of that, writing songs for Black artists and telling them this is what we want to hear. So it's almost impossible for people to own their own rights to their own music unless if they're an independent artist. And I always talk about this because as an author, like I owned my rights to my books. No one owns them. I've never put them through a publishing company. I only hired Amazon to print my
for me.
Understand, like you really have to own everything, your own masters, as we hear people.
Right, exactly. You have to do it like Nipsey Hussle did it, the way Nipsey Hussle did it.
Exactly.
And
Nelly is my boo. Thank you.
And Nelly, that was smart. He was very smart.
Shanti and Maya and Common. There's so many other artists. Tory Lanez is now in jail because of whatever the situation is, but he also tried to do the same exact thing. He launched his album as an NFT so that over time it can still continue to be profitable, and then he's in jail now. Like they doing, you know, the young man who just lost his wife to a surgery. I'm not trying to, you know, be that kind of person, but he now all of a sudden started having his own cameraman, and he wanted to do his own publishing, you know, his own videography and his own.
He's always wanted to do his own though. That's he's smart too.
And then as soon as he decides to start doing this, his wife dies.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. Do you understand? Like it's just fortunate, but again, this is the society that we only have known. We always want to be this A-lister, this big time celebrity, if you will, because it's according to their standards. What is to be a celebrity in the Black community? You help your community, you give back. I remember I used to talk to this guy from Highbridge up in the Bronx, and he was so pissed because Cardi was 2 blocks away from his house growing up all the time, and he was like, she don't do shit for her community. At a minimum, at least have a scholarship for the kids. No exaggeration. The following summer she ended up having a scholarship for that same school that he came from. You know, there's so many different ways that you can give back, but to me, that's what a celebrity should do. You know, Jay-Z, PD, all of these people, they have millions and billions of dollars of net worth. Why are you pumping your tequila in the street instead of maybe opening up a school? You know,
because it makes money.
See, that once again goes back to the mind frame, you know, just thinking bigger, not thinking just about yourself. I mean, look at all these young rappers getting caught now, getting RICO charges. You know what I mean?
Some stupid shit they said in their song, which is ignorant.
It's crazy. Like it's like nobody. It's like they have no better sense. So I'm just trying to say this is what's happening. The freak
about the money. Yeah.
Yeah,
because if you go back, if you go back on the older artists, recording artists, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, you know, Quincy Jones, all that, they gave.
Yeah.
They gave to the community. They gave to Black colleges.
See, the thing about it is, why wouldn't you want to do that anyway? It's a tax write-off. You're getting every dime of it back.
Every dime.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's a new generation.
But y'all gotta remember for how long that the drug dealer has been glorified. In the hood, they were the ones who was giving bikes and turkeys away.
Right.
They were the ones who were pouring back into their community, not these stars, not these doctors, not these, none of them. It was dope man that came and gave you $1 every now and again to go get some ice cream.
I'm trying to say, I think it happened a lot when we started letting them shape our image, because if we go back to even before that, like let's go back. I mean, we could go back to the 1910s and 20s when we had the minstrel shows.
Yeah.
And the chilling circuit.
Right.
Yeah.
Black people in an uproar, blackface, all this other stuff, and fought against it. We are not this. We're not slow, dumb, lazy. Or, I mean, the way they depicted us.
Yeah. They still depicting us again. They're changing words. They changing the words now.
Just the verbiage.
We had the 20s, 30s. They were depicting us crazy. Yeah. There was a few good people. If you look up Oscar Michael, like he was like one of the top, you know, film producers for a lot of Black films, and just completely changed the image of what Black people were. No longer were you walking around talking about we dumb, lazy, monkeys, all this other stuff. It was an image.
Booted. Yep. That's when they started being suited and booted. They was looking good. Yep.
Yeah. It was
we were a proud people. There were a time where Black people, we were a proud people.
Yeah.
We were proud to be who we were. We didn't want Botox and liposuction and all that to be them. We just wanted to be us. And we were proud to do that. You didn't see Aretha Franklin going to get lipo. You know what I'm saying?
We were so dope. We were so dope that they wanted to be us.
Sure did.
We were so dope they wanted to be us. They was the one going and pumping their lips up and getting the big boots and doing the stuff to themselves to make themselves look like getting fans and trying to, you know, sunbathe and stuff because they wanted to be us.
Exactly. I like Cardi B. I like Cardi B's music. I like her attitude, the way she speaks, you know, and how she just upfront. But look at her. When I look at her, I be like, the poor child is just gonna snatch herself to death. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna snatch your waistline till it's just nothing, and we were proud people, and we were taught, older generations, we were taught to be proud of who we were and never try to be like somebody else.
But when you look at what the beauty standard is now, right?
It's crazy.
No, it's us.
Mm-hmm.
It's
crazy.
us. It's the mind frame of what it does. You can see that's
look when I say it's us, look at the BBLs. That's our shape. That's
shape.
Right. Yeah, like it's us. It's still us. It's not them. It's still us. The full lips. That's us. That's all of that shit is still us.
No, it is. It is. And they're gonna, and like I said, they trying to switch slowly. Everything is switching back because now they pushing in the white community. Like it's like, let's go back to Twiggy now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna want to go back to 101 pounds.
But Twiggy gotta have a fat ass because ain't nobody going back from that. Like nobody's going back.
They pushed it. You gonna see these little white girls being anorexic all over again. That was like huge when we was coming up.
Yeah.
I
never went through that. I've never really seen that.
These white girls was
it was really horrible.
In the hospital every other week.
Horrible to witness, like in the 80s.
The fucking
80s and like early 90s, those models, Kate Moss and all of them, you could see their ribs, their whole rib cage.
You know what? I didn't really see too much of that. I wasn't paying attention to them. See, I'm from New Orleans and then I came to Georgia, baby. We always about that ass thickness, baby. What's happening? You ain't got no meat. We ask you what's wrong. Why?
Then you are blessed.
You eat something.
You are blessed.
Chicken. We used to bring skinny people to our houses.
No, you used to be like, eat.
Like you trying to eat, you must be hungry. You have to be hungry.
I had friends that had 00 genes, okay? 00 genes.
Yes.
Wow. Real life thing. Like you wear a 00 shit.
You're right, Courtney, because when they would bring us down south,
and 00, and I was skinny.
Yeah. We didn't
eat. I started at size 6. No. That's where I started. There was no 00.
That I
you were wearing 00. You were either sick or you was a drug addict. If we saw skinny,
everybody was walking.
You were a drug addict.
Period. Period.
What you want?
Period. Yeah. Period.
If somebody in the neighborhood start drastically losing weight, they're like, I think Shelly on that shit.
They on that shit.
Yeah, on that shit. Y'all see Shelly?
Yeah, she on that shit, y'all.
That's what they used to do if you was telling you. If you started losing weight or if you were too little, they would accuse you of being on drugs.
And if you ever was on drugs before and you stopped, and if your ass started losing weight again, your grandma coming to your house. Where the shit at? Where is that?
I'm talking about drugs, but look at what's out now, the Ozempic. Y'all heard about that. Yeah. So that's real now, the Ozempic. What's that? That's a weight loss drug. People are really taking this to drop like 20 pounds in a month or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
wait. It's for diabetics though.
But let's have a real conversation about America. We are too damn big. A lot of America is just not healthy, and that's what I mean.
That ain't who's taking Ozempic.
It's not. I mean, that's not healthy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we do need to work on health. We do need to be working on health, though. I'm not gonna agree with that.
Right.
But we do need
to. We got to work on health. Yeah, we definitely got to do that.
Definitely.
It's no shortcut. That's all synthetic. I mean, I'm just saying there's so many different side effects. I mean, you don't have diabetes. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But it's the food too. You know, a lot of people need to educate them on what we're eating because a lot of the food, like, you know, that's why our 12-year-old girls look like they 20 because the chicken they eating got steroids in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the food, and we, you know, just need to better educate our people on how to eat and what not to eat and what to eat, you know, so that you cannot, because we are the most obese country in the world. We really are.
We really are, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, you know, you go to some other countries, and if you big, that means you royalty. They like, whoo, you eat good around here.
Africa.
This motherfuckers that's hungry
Africa.
street. You eat good.
Africa is one of them.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely is true.
So we do need that. That's a piece of it. And you know, that goes into our mind frame, right? When you get healthy, and then the discipline of which I have discovered that I have an issue with the word discipline. I'm a rebel by heart. So when I hear that word,
I have an issue with
Doesn't
it.
sound fun.
automatically be like, you got me fucked up. You want me to do what? Like, I ain't listening to you. I ain't listening to shit. I'm not doing it. So I just have to talk to myself again, changing wording to myself about what it is that I think should be happening. And I think that in this generation and where we're going as a people, and I'm lucky enough to have had been where I was before the computer and after the computer. And I was able to see these different things. I'm like in the middle of everything. And because I'm in the middle of everything and I have an understanding of both sides, I know how to deal with the younger ones a little more, and I know how to deal with the older ones a little more because I have that level of understanding of what we need, not what we feel or how we feel, but what we need to be doing for all of us to be able to move forward. And I know everybody thinks that it's going to be so hard. No, it's not. They make us feel with this propaganda and all this bullshit that a lot of us aren't thinking this way. A lot of us don't understand what we need to do, even if you in the hood, even if you in the wherever the hell, because a dope dealer ain't nothing but a businessman.
Period.
Oh,
Period.
That's what we had to
Pharmacist, street pharmacist is the correct name.
Well,
street pharmacist. We need them, and I'm going to find one at some point. But I'm just saying.
So, Courtney, ended on that note, and we can talk all night. That's just how we do, because I mean it's an issue that goes on forever and ever.
Right.
But I'm glad we did talk about just the mind frames to have, how we can even get to a certain point. And really we have to be honest with each other. How majority of us aren't even at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's probably for another discussion.
Right.
Who's to say that?
I'm just saying. Well, we could tell just simply by where we at right now. I mean, just right in the evidence, like, because I mean, there's so many other communities that's doing it. Chinese are doing it.
Yeah.
Indians are doing. I mean, it's the Jewish are doing it. Please don't even get me started.
I mean, but I guess that's why we could talk about it in another episode, because of the simple fact that we've done it. And ain't nobody doing shit to the Jewish community. Ain't nobody doing shit to the Asian individuals. Ain't nobody doing any of that to any of them to fuck up what they got going on. And we've done several. So it's kind of like, what do you do now?
I'm right. We'll definitely, we're going to pick up on that one next time, because you're right.
So that's why it's still like a somewhat discrediting ourselves. It's like, no, we're here for a reason. It's not because of our own.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right with that. You're right with that. So, I definitely want to, Goddess Simon said, do you have anything else you want to say? Goddess Stacy, then Goddess Hope, because we're going to round it out, and we'll pick up with that next week.
Okay.
No, I'm good. And I would just like to say, I'm looking forward to having these roundtable discussions with you ladies and making the change that we want to see, because we are the change that we need. So we have to make the change. We have to put forth the effort. And I'm excited.
Absolutely.
You want to leave any, any of your information out?
You can contact me at info myconfidentwoman.org. If you want to, any events that Confident Woman International Inc. have going on, you go to the website, myconfidentwoman.org, and it'll keep you up to date with everything that we're doing.
Love it.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us, Goddess Stacy. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Goddess Shelley.
I look forward to the, second part of this discussion about affirmative action and all of the other things that we were speaking about. And you can reach me at Sun Goddess _sense on IG, or Sun Goddess Sense on Facebook, my like page, and Shelly Aminset Harris on Facebook, and the website is ShellyAminsetProducts.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Goddess, for joining us this week. Goddess Hope.
I just want to say that I would like everyone to start thinking about a strategic plan just in case if they decide to pull your job from you, because they still have about 1.25 million jobs to cut by third quarter. So start thinking of a plan B. It's really time to get focused and start aligning arms with your brothers and sisters that look like you, because those are the only people that will assist you during this time. You can find me on all social media platforms as Queen Goddess Hope. And that's all I got. Peace to the tribe.
All right. Thank you, Goddess Hope. Goddess Courtney, any last words?
I think that my last words would be, don't operate out of fear. Through this time, there's going to be a lot of different uncertainties of where you're going, what you're doing, and your world's going to be turned upside down, especially if you were one of the persons who, quote unquote, did everything right. Okay, that means you went to school, you did everything, you got the highest grades, you blah, 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 and now you're in the top company, and now they fire you. Okay? Don't let fear guide you. Just take what it is that you already know that you was better at them at anyway, and go do what you need to do, and understand you've been in those positions for a very long time to know the ins and outs of their BS and how you could do it better. So do so. And you can find me on Instagram at I am Courtney Simpson with 2 N's, or if you want to follow my natural hair salon page, I'm in Beaufort, Georgia. It's nalasnatural.com. And that's just all I want to say. Don't operate out of fear, you guys.
Absolutely. I want to thank all you goddesses for being on. You know, this is like how Courtney was saying, how we were all saying, these are going to be tough times. Like right now, you have to just come to the reality. No more living like in a delusion. There's no more backup anymore. You know, as far as affirmative action, them have them let you in, you shouldn't even want to have them let you in. It shouldn't even be something that you're even thinking about. We should want to have our own. Every other community does. There's no reason to feel guilty, or I'm being racist, I'm being discriminatory, or any of the other stuff. Nobody else has a problem with being racist, discriminatory, and not letting them in.
Hence the affirmative action in the first place.
Exactly. It wouldn't have to be in place if it didn't have to, like, they didn't have to force people to do something. So we need to start building our own and stop letting everybody in what we're doing. That's the problem. That's right. We keep our money. That's how we keep, you know, we had to start investing in math, sciences, all the STEM programs, you know, all the programs we were talking about, all the trades, you know, start making that serious, start pushing your kids to do in these certain areas. Because at a moment in time, it's not going to be about the individual anymore. It's going to be about the whole race, the whole community. So all the individualistic thinking, that's the end.
Agreed.
And don't be afraid of partnership. You know, if you can partnership and collaborate with someone, and you know, you guys can start a corporation and buy a building, and you know, and start there, and then buy another building and keep going. I mean, do that. You know what I'm saying? Do that. You know, the times that we're in now, everybody don't have A1 credit. You know, everybody don't have $1 million in the bank. You know what I mean? Collaborate with people that, you know, have the mindset that you have, want to go in the same direction you're going in, and build corporations and LLCs and nonprofits. Do it. It's not going to be, I mean, just do it. You know, just
before
do it.
They change the rules. Do it
before they change the rules.
Right, because they're going to
do it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, beautiful goddesses, for sharing all your knowledge. We're going to hit you next time. This is the Real Sister Code, and we're here for another installment. Next time, we're going to elaborate in part 2 about affirmative action.
Us.
All right.
Us.
Thanks, sisters.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace and Power family. And we are here, another endorsement from Nagas Footwear. Please make sure you go onto nagasfootwear.com and check us out at rebelvision.com. You can get your umbrellas, you can get your chargers, shirts. We have new merch coming out. So make sure that you check us out on rebelvision.com. Go on Instagram, rebelvision.com, rebelvision LLC, and you will see us there. Peace and Power family, us.